Is this a drill or something?
No, no, no. Stay and help you, I will. Find your friend,
I'm not looking for a friend. I'm looking for a Jedi Master.
Jedi Master Yoda. You seek Yoda.
You know him?
When the Jedi were all but extinct thanks to the machinations of Emperor Palpatine and the execution of Order 66, why, instead of fighting the Sith directly, did Yoda flee to Dagobah? When Luke Skywalker first found Jedi Master Yoda on Dagobah, the young hero thought he had made a mistake. Between Yoda's odd personality and the fact that the planet was basically a giant swamp, the old hermit seemed like more of an annoyance than a legendary master. He had languished there by choice for years, and Yoda's escape to Dagobah was a loaded one, so while the place probably didn't smell that great to Skywalker, it was perfect for Yoda in more ways than one.
Yes, yes, but now we must eat. Come. Good food.
What's more, his decision to settle on Dagobah was far more advised than a dart on the map, even when his back was against the wall. So what exactly made Yoda choose to flee in the first place, and why to a place like Dagobah when there were many other options to choose from?
Help me to escape. Yes.
Escape? But you're not in prison.
No? Perhaps. But perhaps I am. Already, all around us, the cage may be a journey I must make, alone.
Dagobah is incredibly Force-strong.
Strong this planet is with the Force.
Luke Skywalker's training on Dagobah serves as an integral part of his development in Empire Strikes Back. Under the tutelage of Jedi Master Yoda, young Skywalker begins understanding the Force in all new ways, and even runs into some trouble with the dark side while on the swamp-covered planet. This is because Dagobah, like other planets such as Ilum and Jeddah, was extremely strong in the Force. Yoda knew about Dagobah thanks to his old friend, Master Qui-Gon Jinn, who appears to Yoda during Season 6 of the Clone Wars, better known as the Lost Missions. Master Qui-Gon's communication with Yoda is such an important story point that when it was cut from the original script for Revenge of the Sith, the folks over at Lucasfilm reincorporated it into the TV show, but the scene still remains in the film's novelization. In episode 11, titled Voices, Qui-Gon instructs Yoda to take his first trip to Dagobah when the Jedi Master tries a dangerous method of looking for answers. Yoda eventually ends up there and he immediately notices how strong the planet is, and Qui-Gon even calls it the purest place in the galaxy.
Yoda, my old friend, you have come at last.
Qui-Gon Jinn, really you? It is?
It is.
Losing my mind, I am not?
No, my friend, no.
Why have you brought me here?
It is on Yoda's first trip to Dagobah that he encounters the Dark Side Cave also, known as the Cave of Evil, that Luke Skywalker walks into in Empire Strikes Back. There he sees a terrible vision of the future, and he gets his first real glimpse at Darth Sidious. It's worth looking back on the final episodes of the Season 6 just for more of the planet's lore, because it was on Dagobah that Yoda learned how to become a Force ghost, along with plenty of other lessons along the way.
On Tatooine, training I have for you.
Training?
An old friend has learned the path to immortality. One who has returned from the netherworld of the Force, your old master.
Qui-Gon?
How to commune with him, I will teach you.
Two, the Jedi were being hunted.
I have recalibrated the code, warning all surviving Jedi to stay away.
For the clones, to discover the recalibration, a long time it will take.
As soon as Order 66 went into effect, the Jedi were officially considered enemies of the Republic, and anyone who didn't go down under the blaster fire of their clone compatriots was doomed to be hunted until death. Some Jedi were even less lucky, such as Master Luminara Unduli, who was captured by the Empire and held as prisoner until her death. Needless to say, remaining Jedi like Obi-Wan Kenobi and Yoda needed to be out of sight and out of mind quickly. After the birth of Skywalker twins, decisions were made, but not without some thought on Yoda's part. Kenobi and Yoda both decided to go into exile and head to the far reaches of the galaxy, far apart from one another even, so that there was less of a chance of attracting any attention. With a little nudge from Qui-Gon, Yoda went for the swamps and humidity on Dagobah, placing him far out of the way. Despite being strong in the Force, Dagobah was almost completely unoccupied and didn't seem to hold much importance to the Empire during their galactic conquest. Yoda stayed there, completely under the radar, for nearly 2 decades before Luke showed up at his swamp.
That face you make. Look, I so old to young eyes.
No, of course not.
I do. Yes, I do. Sick have I become. Old and weak. When 900 years old you reach, look as good you will not.
3. He didn't win his fight with Palpatine.
Into exile I must go. Failed I have.
Now this might be a little hard to accept, but our favourite Jedi Master did not walk away from his fight with the future Emperor Palpatine as the victor. Yoda's fancy prequel-era moves could not save him from taking a few serious blows at the electrified hands of Darth Sidious, and since the fight occurred shortly before the twins were born, Yoda was likely exhausted by that time. Say what you will about the fight, but jumping through the various stories of the Senate Chamber and taking the hits that Yoda did would leave even the greatest of masters with a few bruises to sleep off. Heading right back into battle and making his status as a not dead Jedi would have been completely idiotic. Yoda and the Jedi Council had been misled by the dark side, the vision totally clouded, and their judgment as well, and they only had this realization post Order 66. It was a really hard thing for him to accept, so making a terrible decision in the heat of the moment wasn't something that Yoda seemed interested in attempting again. The Jedi Master gathered up his wounds and left and headed for an exile, similar to several Jedi before him.
Yoda, you survived.
Surprised?
Your arrogance blinds you, Master Yoda.
And 4, really importantly, that exile was self-imposed.
This one, a long time have I watched. All his life as he looked away to the future, to the horizon, never his mind on where he was, what he was doing. Adventure, excitement. A Jedi craves not these things.
With all of that previous poor judgment in mind, Yoda's exile was a fitting punishment for his inability to stop the rise of the Empire. Now let's be clear about this though, Yoda wasn't running from responsibility with his non-existent tail between his legs. The experienced, benevolent master saw the error of his ways that led the galaxy into the Clone Wars. He'd been deceived, and he put himself into exile as a form of punishment for his failures to the galaxy at large. An atonement, if you will. Exile was a commonplace practice among the Jedi and had been used as a form of punishment several times before, though Yoda's was a punishment he placed on himself. Yoda had failed to defeat Darth Sidious and was most certainly a part of the Jedi's poor decision making at several points throughout the Clone Wars.
Yes. A flaw more and more common among Jedi. Too sure of themselves they are. Even the older, more experienced ones.
And even though he seemed weary or skeptic about things that the Jedi decided to do, the fact of the matter was that Yoda let it happen and even made several of these decisions himself, especially the key ones. By the time Palpatine got away from Yoda, the decision to self-exile was likely already brewing in the Master's head. In several ways, he'd failed the Jedi, the Republic, and the galaxy, so it only seemed right for him to head to a place where he'd likely never commit wrongs such as that again, and also gain some much needed perspective. And while it wasn't said out loud, perhaps there was a part of Yoda that went into exile because he knew that he had something to wait for on Dagobah. When you think about it, the Force was guiding Yoda down this path long before he made the decision to go into exile, but are there any other reasons you could think of why he ended up there as well? Let me know if I've missed any in the comments, love of God, because it's something I always thought about. As at first it seems as an act of cowardice, but as you look into it more, you realize that there was an atonement aspect and also, I guess, this lingering belief in the Force, the light side. They knew they couldn't see, but they were waiting for this, I don't know if you would say the prophecy still, because obviously the chosen one pill was hard to swallow after seeing the atrocities that Anakin committed. But the beauty of this video is it is just the start of the discussion. Our love for Star Wars surrounds and it binds us together. Please let me know in the comments below what you think about Yoda fleeing to Dagobah. Was it right? Was it wrong? Should he have fought? Because if you love Star Wars, I want to talk to you about it. It's as simple as that, my friends. If you want to stay up to date with the latest Star Wars videos on origins, games, and theories, don't forget to use those Force powers of yours and hit subscribe. And hey, leave a comment below about what you want to see in future videos. It may just get covered. Thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you. Always.